Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So that's two languages I just spoke. One is English and one is Dansk. That's Danish. So today we have Betrulo and Live, your show, and we have guests from our country, and as our trend goes, from a different country as well. And as per my introduction suggests, we're going to have somebody or some people from Denmark. So before moving on to anything, or before even moving into topic, let's get introduced to the guests. Can we have the guests on screen, please?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
So we have on my right we have Lulu Lab, and on below we have Betrulo. So like I'll let the guests introduce themselves, starting with the two ladies on my right. Could you please introduce yourself and your company?
Yeah. I'm Sally. I am the co-founder of Lulu Lab, and I'm responsible for partnerships, cooperation with end users, and game design.
And I'm Matilde. I'm the second co-founder of Lulu Lab, and I have a background in graphic design. And I'm responsible for designing the illustrations and the whole design process of the games.
And Lulu Lab is sorry.
No, it's okay. Go on, please go on.
Lulu Lab is a humanitarian game studio. We develop educational games on taboo topics like reproductive health, sexual rights, and menstrual hygiene. And I'll pass it on to you.
Thank you. So I'm Istiaque Ahmed. I'm one of the co-founders of Battery Interactive. Basically, I'm responsible for the operations in the company and game team lead. Battery Interactive is a company where we make game interactive web application AR/VR experience. We have been working with serious games for 3 or 4 years, and recently we are doing some amazing projects with UNICEF, UNDP in sexual reproduction, health development, and in environment pollution. How to be aware of environment pollution and stuff. So that's it for us.
Thank you so much, guys, for introducing yourselves. Now we'll move into the topic. But before we just start everything, so I just want to say that I'm really excited about this because this is a show we have been waiting for a long time. In the previous 4 shows, we have covered different topics, of course, but our viewers know that though we do a lot of things, gaming or game development has been the area where we like it most. And this is the core area of our company. So this is the show we have and all our fans have been waiting for, I would say. So thank you to all 3 of you for managing your time in amongst your busy schedule. And as for me, I'm like very excited. So we're moving to the introduction first. So thanks for introducing yourself. So my first question would be to Sally and Matilde that we know that the global situation has been a bit tricky for the last 3 months or so. So when did you first understand that it's going to impact your business, or did it have any impact on your business? If it did, how did you handle it, and how are you handling it?
Well, Denmark started their lockdown mid-March. And soon lockdown happened around the world afterwards, especially also with the partners that we work with in Sierra Leone and in Uganda. So for us, that meant that the game that we were going to launch at that point had to be suspended to another time.
So we've been fine. We've been safe working from home, but it has caused a lot of delay in our implementation and our game launch, which we still haven't really launched. So it's been 3 months of waiting, and we're really looking forward to lockdown being over in East and West Africa as well.
So we know that, like, on that point, that you had to travel a lot, because I have seen that you guys have been like into the schools in Africa and back and forth, to Denmark again for work. So I guess it has really caused some impact all over the travels, because it's totally shut down. And as you say, the launching has been delayed. But we know that like globally the launch of many games have been delayed. I mean, it's only inevitable. Like movies are already like cancelled. I mean, they have already shifted a year or so. We know that the James Bond movie was about to come out, but it will not. It says no time to die. So we just have to we just have to stick till like it all ends basically. So yeah, thanks. So Istiaque bhai, my question would be to you now that right now, do you think like principally on a principal level that we know that the topic of today's discussion is basically impactful sexual education through gaming. So do you think that how much impact that game industry can actually overall can game industry can have to break social stigmas and social taboos? Because we know that sexual education is one of them, but there are many different other social stigmas and taboos.
Fahmi, I think the connection was interrupted.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello.
Fahmi, I think the connection was interrupted. Connection
Okay.
was interrupted, I think. Can you hear
Now,
me now?
yeah, I can hear you clearly. Now, am I clear?
Oh, sorry for that. Yeah, you're clear.
All right. So I'll just repeat the question. So,
Yeah, please.
um, so you know that the topic of today's discussion is basically impactful sexual education through gaming. So
Yeah.
we know that serious games basically address different kinds of issues to serve purposes. So
Yeah.
what sort of impact do you think overall on a principal level game industry can have on different social stigmas and taboos in our society, in also on all parts of the world?
So basically, not only in sexual education, gamified learning approach is a very very welcoming approach to people who are eager to study things. Um, uh, as the sexual education is a taboo in some countries, mostly in every country. So gamified make things very easier to very easy to perceive things. Okay, so if a thing is very much if there is very much stigma in a thing like the sexual education, so we can make it easier through the gamified way, because in a game you can show funny things in a very funny way. Okay, that's why like people feel to play it, people feel to enjoy it. That's how we can we can eradicate the stigma if we want.
All right, thank you so much, Istiaque bhai. So we'll move into this in a in a deeper level, of course. But before that, I want to go back to Matilde and Sally again. That we know that Lulu Labs won the Idea Change Lives 2020 by British Council, the recent award that you have won. So would you congratulations on that, by the way? And could you tell us? Welcome. So, could you tell us and the viewers about a bit about your idea, what you and what does the prize means to you, and what's your way forward with this?
Yeah, so we won a prize. We pitched the Dilemma game, which is our newest game that we have co-created with the Girls and Boys and Save the Children and Greg in Sierra Leone and in Uganda. And it's an educational game about comprehensive sexual education. So it covers pregnancy, puberty, STIs and contraceptives, and sexual rights and children's rights.
Yeah. So in the game, you are faced with a lot of different dilemmas within these topics. And in the dilemmas, you have two choices you can take that will positively or negatively affect the values that you have. So that could, for example, be your health, it could be for your family, friends, or your education. And by learning about these effects, you also learn about the consequences your choices have. And that also transcends into the consequences your choices have in real life. So this actually kind of pushes for behavioral change amongst the children when we talk about sexual and reproductive health and what decisions you want to take in life.
So,
all right.
So it's
go on, Sally.
Co-created with the Girls and Boys. So they are the voices of the game, and they have created the sound effects with us in local schools and market areas and the busy traffic in around Freetown. And all the dilemmas they are created from their real life experiences as well. So so that we know that it's something that they can relate to, the ones that have co-created the games with us, but also the broader target group.
Wow, that's fantastic. And as you were saying that students were working in this. So, do you have like any memorable experience that you want to share with the viewers that you had with those children while working in this game?
Well, what we experience when we co-create our games is that we really see a change in the young people on how they speak about sensitive topics within, for example, sexual and reproductive health, how they open up and create a dialogue that's very more understandable between them.
Yeah, and it's tackling very social or big challenges in society as well. That may be, for example, teenage pregnancy, sugar daddy or sugar mama issues. And when we co-create, the students, the users, as well as the communities that we have a good dialogue with in the co-creation phase, they recognize this big problem with us, and they really want a solution. So the participants in our co-creation, they really feel so proud in being a part of the game design phase, but also they feel such an ownership of the game, which is a really nice way for us to implement it as well in the communities, because it has to be their game, not ours. So it's actually roll out function.
Yeah.
All right, that's interesting. Thank you so much. So, Istiaque Bhai, would you
Yeah.
care to? We know that Batrillo is also partaking in the development of many serious games right now. One of them is basically addressing the issue that we are talking today about sexual and reproductive health in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
So, could you tell our viewers a bit about it, because we have not been, that much open with about the description in the public. So this might
Yeah.
be a good opportunity to tell the people that what we are doing.
Okay, so thank you, Fahmi. So basically, the game you are talking about, it is basically a game for UNICEF and NCTB. So you know very well, in our country, the sexual education thing is very much, very much very much taboo. So the problem is, from our teachers to our parents, they are not that much open to the adolescent people. That they should be like, of course they should be open, so that they have the proper idea about the concept. That's why UNICEF came with an idea. UNICEF told us to do something interesting with the sexual education thing. Then basically it's a project for NCTP. UNICEF is like is being a partner to that. Then we Battery Interactive with LOH Light of Hope, we came up with an idea of making developing a game. As you know, game is the best way to learn things, I think so. And I think you agree with me, because learning is a very easy process if you like, if you can do with game. Am I there? I think there is some technical problem. So what I was talking about. So gamified way is a very very good way to learn things. That's why we propose UNICEF that we want to make a make a ASRH game. I mean, like adolescent sex and reproductive health based game, where people of ASR of the age of 11 to 18, they can learn about sexual education through game. So here in our game, we will talk details about that later on. But in our game, what in a brief, what we can say is, in our game, it is a basically adventure based game. So in this adventure based game, there will be some mini missions. This mission, through solving these missions or completing this mission, you will learn all most of the things of sexual educations, like period and other things that we don't want to talk about in our country. So that's it from me about the UNICEF project.
Thank you so much, Ishtiaq Bhai. That actually sums it up. So we know that this is a very interesting show, I think, because we have two groups of people. Oh my God, this is thunder rumbling in my area. So, anyways, I was saying, so you are the people, like the three people we have on the screen right now. So they are the people who are actually developing these kind of things for the people. And Ishtiaq Bhai, he was born and brought up in Bangladesh. We were born and brought up in Bangladesh. So a country where we feel the necessity of, we have seen these things, these problems in every day of our life. All right. So that was our motivation, you can say, that we can feel the problem. But my question to you two is basically, what was the what made you think that you would pursue this? Because we know that definitely in Denmark you don't have those social stigmas that they have in Africa or in Asia. So how did you come up with this concept that you will address this kind of thing in a far continent and through gamification? So that's a big leap, I would say. So why did you make it, and like what did happen?
Well, yeah. Well, the idea started at a hackathon, actually, that we went to for 3 years ago, I would say. So the hackathon was to create a solution to educate refugee girls and women in sub-Saharan Africa about sexual and reproductive health. That we went to for 2 years ago.
Yeah. Our idea was a game, and we pitched this game to the NGOs and UN agencies that participated in the hackathon. They were very fond of the idea because it was fresh, it was something new, and it was digital and yeah, super engaging for the users. Simple and fun. I think that was like the keywords.
Yeah.
Simple and fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we also learned that there was 1 in 4 girls drop out of school because they give birth before they turn 18, while 1 in 10 girls, they drop out of school because of their periods. I think this, these are the sub-Saharan Africa numbers. For India, we've learned also that 1 in 5 girls drop out of school because of their periods. So it's a huge problem, and it's something that really needs to be addressed. And that was a big motivation for us as well. Yeah.
All right, cool. So it all started in the hackathon, but now you have a much bigger ground to play. And I hear that you are I know that you are planning to move out of Africa as well, to expand in India and well. So we'll move into that question and that topics. But before that, we have a very interesting segment. So as we have game developers on screen, so we wanted to have some game elements in the show. So in this segment, so we will show different, posters or graphics or different vintage games or popular games. So it will be your turn to basically say what's the name of the game, or if you have any memories with that game, if you have played it, so you can share them. So I think we can start the quiz round regarding, do they call it the quiz round or the game round? I don't know.
Sounds like a quiz.
Yeah.
Same.
Like a quiz. Okay, so let's have the quiz. Let's see the games. Come on. Anytime on screen, I guess. Not yet. People at the back end.
I'm
okay.
at the minority, I think.
Yeah, okay, we can see each other. But game nostalgias. All right. Let's see. Give us the first one. What's this?
That's Mario, right?
Super Mario.
Super Mario.
Correct answer, of course. We know Mario. Yeah. Go on.
Childhood memories.
Yeah.
This one?
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush. Okay. Next.
Road
This
Rush.
one.
Road Rush.
I didn't know that one.
You didn't play. So you don't play racing games?
Yeah. I love to play that. It was a very great game in 2000.
It was one of the first games that I have ever played as well. Anyways, next time. What's this?
Subway Surfer.
Oh, that's the Danish one. It's called. What's it called?
Istiaque Bhai already gave the answer.
Subway Surfer.
Yeah.
Subway Surfer. Okay.
It's an infinite runner game.
Yeah, that's right.
Moving on. What's this?
I think GTA Vice City or San Andreas. GTA City, a game from GTA series, I think.
Yeah.
Vice City or San Andreas.
Vice City.
Yeah, I actually played that, but not a lot.
I just wonder, did you use cheat codes while playing that? Because in Bangladesh, we all used to
If you use cheat codes.
So recently, I watched a video where a boat, flies over the river. Then I thought it's a cheat code from like "Come Fly with Me" of Vice City. I remember we used to use the cheat codes of "Come Fly with Me," then
Yes.
machine gun type of cheat codes. I forgot. It was
Yeah,
fun.
you used to launch different entire tanks, on the street
Yeah.
and play with it. So that was the
Panzer,
fun with
Panzer,
GTA.
Panzer
Panzer,
was
yeah.
the yeah.
Anyway, so Rockstar Games has recently made the game free. Like you can play the GTA 5 for free right now to promote the stay in home campaign. So and now everybody is playing like GTA. Anyways, so we'll resume our regular round. We'll come back to this again with some different pictures, I guess. But before that, we were talking about games. So coming to Istiaque Bhai right now. So we know that the project that we Batrillo has been pursuing, and you being the director from the for the project from Batrillo's end. So what sort of difficulties have you been facing in the development of the project? And in your eyes, what have been the uh, points that you have been struggling with in terms of like developing the whole thing? What have been the challenges?
In this ASRH project, Swami, are you
Yes, yes,
asking about that?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, in development sector, we have a very fantastic team of developers and artists. So we are not having any problem regarding the development issue, but we are facing some problems, to the requirement part. The part by part requirements are not clear all the time. So what we have to do, we have to do the meetings online, but in every situation online meetings are not like enough for some reasons, because you'll have to sit together enough in some physical meetings to show the games to them and like to feel it. This is one problem. And the second problem is with the testing. There's the major problem we are facing here, because for this ASRH game, after developing some modules, what we planned, we will test the games by real users, by the school students, school girls and school boys. So we are facing problems with that, as the schools are not open nowadays. So that's why we had to send the games online. But same issue happens when the parents see some sexual elements, some words over there, they don't allow them to play. So what we thought, we will bring some UNICEF people. We were like the elder people, and we suggest the teachers that inspire the students to play the games. So for that reason, we'll have to have some physical workshops. So that's a big problem here we're facing right now. But in the development part, we are doing, I thought we'll be facing problems as the every developers and designers are working from remote from their home, as we are having home office. But surprisingly, we didn't face any problem during in this development period, as every developer and every designers are working in a I would say in a very more productive. The problem is only with the testing thing.
All right. Thank you so much, Ishtiaq bhai. So yeah, that has been the issue. Like the lack of physical interaction has been causing some problems in terms
Yeah.
of tasting and requirement analysis. Of course, we can see some comments from the audience that they are loving the show. So thank you guys for making it a very interesting one. Moving to again Lulu Lab. Um, so Ishtiaq bhai was talking about some troubles he has been facing while directing the game from our side in this pandemic. So what has been your work structure? I was wondering that. Have you been able to continue working in the same pace that you used to before the lockdown? And right now, how is the work going on? I mean, everybody working from home, or are you in office, or is the work in progressing in the same state as before, or has it slowed down, or has it gone faster?
Our office is actually a part of a university, which is still closed down. So we've been looking for a new office that we just set up this week. And I think that has helped in like team communication a lot, because we've started up some new projects, which has been a bit challenging when we haven't been able to actually meet up, and we have onboarded a new team member as well, and it's just not the same when you're online instead of being able to meet up.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, of course, the launch of our game has been postponed, but we managed to then add some extra content for the game about the COVID-19, which is really good, because then more people can learn about how to take care of yourself through like these dilemmas and animations. More graphically understand what to do and what not to do.
About the games, Sally, you were saying something?
No, I think that's it.
So I was asking that about the COVID-19 extra segment that you mentioned. So is it like another choice-based segment where people learn the outcomes of different choices they make, or is it some kind of simulation?
It is an extra chapter right now, as the puberty and pregnancy and the other 2 other chapters. So it is that you learn through dilemmas the same way as you do with the other chapters. And then we connected some animations to visually show what to do, how to wash hands, how to not touch someone in your own face. Everything like that. Keep your distance.
Yeah, keep distance, avoid crowds. It's co-created with Save the Children for Sierra Leone as well. So yeah, we have the face masks and all the recommendations for how to behave, basically.
Okay, got it. So Istiaque bhai, on that note, like I have a question for you. So like
please.
we know that simulation games, like they serve like a different purpose. I mean, in simulation games, you only learn how to do it. Like it's a linear game, I'd say, a linear process. But in terms of choice-based games, like we know that there are like multiple ways you can go forward to it, and you can discover it like you have some sort of simulation philosophy in it, but then again it's a kind of a different genre, you know. So about learning games, what do you think is the better approach to, you know, I know it probably varies time to time, but what's your take on this? Like,
so basically please. Repeat your question.
No, that was my question.
Sorry. Okay, so basically what I was trying to say is I stopped you, so sorry for that. So I basically for learning games, you know, I would suggest to incorporate both of the things. You know, the choice-based games will be there, but in every branches there will be some simulations too. Okay, so if I give an example from our ASRH game, so there are some issues, you know, at least at the age of 14 to 15, boys and girls of our country, they believe the some angel comes with the baby and give it to mother. Okay, so this is a very common concept in all over the world, but you know, these things are very much taboo in our country. That's why mother tells the story of the angel giving the baby to the mother for to the students, to the children. So these kind of issues, like the, you know, baby birth issue, how to how a baby is born, then the period thing, then the, you know, unwanted touch things, these kind of things will be in every simulations. But the overall missions will be in a choice-based game where you can like go to one position and another position, and you will whole simulation like this way. So yeah, I will say both of the simulation and the choice-based thing we should be there in a education-based game, because you'll have to cover up so many things in a very deeper way. That's what I think we should do.
All right, thank you so much for yeah, you want to add something, Sally?
When are you launching your UNICEF game?
Yeah,
when can I play it?
So basically we were planning to launch it in July, but for this corona situation, we had to expand the timeline. Hopefully we'll be launching it in September or October. The timeline is September, but we don't know yet it will be fixed or not. It may change again for the situation, but hopefully it will be on better release in October, I think. Hopefully.
Cool.
And what about you guys? When do you plan to
We're looking
launch?
forward for your feedback.
Next week. Yeah, I think you can play it next week. Finally.
Okay, do share it with us, and we'll share it with our fans. I'm sure
Yes,
that
yeah,
they will be waiting for it as well.
yeah,
So you can have some interesting feedback from Bangladesh as well, since
yeah,
this is
yeah.
also one of the prominent zones that your game can be, create some appeal. Anyways, so moving to next question to Lulu Lab, that we know that your company is basically, it's serving the purpose of an e-learning platform, I would say, as you are making a digital product, and you are working with people in, in the third world countries mainly. So like one thing that comes into our mind, that we know that by default the third world countries are a bit behind at times in terms of acquisition of technology. So probably not all of them have good internet connections at their home, or probably not very good devices. So how do you actually comply with these challenges? I mean, when you talk to donors, or when you talk to somebody like Save the Children, or somebody who is going to execute a project for you, so I'm sure they ask these questions and they also wonder how to tackle this. So
Yeah.
what's your approach on these kind of problems usually?
So our target group, they're quite young, from 10 years old. Yeah, in East and West Africa, they typically don't have their own smartphones. And you need a smartphone or an Android tablet or a desktop to play our game. It works offline, so you would just need internet access once. But I guess the first step is to actually have the tech device available.
Yeah, and we incorporated those questions in our game from the beginning because we know that's important. So our game is also like the minimum size it can be, so you don't have to download one big huge package. Yeah, and as I mentioned, the game works offline once you download it, and then you can just play whenever you want.
So what we've done from the very beginning with our first game, Lulu's Journey, which is on menstrual hygiene, was to make it very small size, and download it to USB sticks, and then our rural partners in Kenya, for example, they could install it on their donated computer lab, which works only offline, and the girls could still play it. And our NGO partners otherwise install it on Android tablets, and then they take it to communities, health clinics or after-school clubs, and then the girls and boys can access it there.
I see. Okay, so so it's a basically what you have to, like, you have to make around, your way, like for example, whatever the situation, you cannot change it, so you
Yeah.
have to adapt with it and like respond accordingly. I guess that's the thing here. So well, moving to the next question to Istiaque Bhai. uh, what's your Istiaque Bhai, what's your take
Yeah.
on games with a purpose and serious games? Because like we know that Betrilo specializes on this, and Lulu Lab also specializes on this, like developing serious games. So overall, how do you think the industry is going to be in the next few years, and how this particular segment will hold its place in the vast spectrum of game industry? We know that there are lots of types and lots of new game genres every year. So I mean, even a couple of years back or some years back, there did not exist like a genre named Battle Royale. Now everybody out there plays Fortnite. Everybody plays for PUBG, and even Call of Duty has released a segment of Battle Royale only for this. But a few years before, it did not exist. So, so what's your take on this? That how serious games will hold its place in the industry?
So I'm very hopeful about serious games for me because I told you earlier that everybody loves to play game. So if someone doesn't love to play a game, then he or she has some serious problem. I would say. So what I what I think you'll agree with me. So everybody, in some ways, everybody plays. Someone play Flappy Bird. If somebody plays GTA 5, girls, usually some girls, I say they love to play Ludo Star, Ludo Club, and the Candy Crush game. I also
Yeah.
love to play Candy Crush game. So everybody loves to play game. So why not make the game a perfect way to teach things? Okay, perfect way to learn things. I suggest, I will hope that everything like the recruitment procedure of a company, that should be gamified. Serious game has opportunity over there. Admission process in a university, the questions and all the stuff, that should be gamified, because when things are gamified, then boring things, if boring things are gamified, they become interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's why we are working with the sexual educations. These are taboo things and boring things, so we are making things interesting with the gamified approach, right? So every aspects, in every aspects, like the I told earlier, the hr recruiting procedure, the admission procedure, this kind of questions should be also gamified. So Fahmi, about the UNDP game we are doing with Dream 71. In that game, we are making a serious game on financial study and environment awareness. So same here. See, UNDP also thinks that they should make games for learning about environment, pollution, and financial study. So I think serious games has very good future, and I think everyone should embrace the good things about the serious games. So it will be a very I know it's not that much popular nowadays, but it will be very much popular within 5 or 6 years. I'm very
Yeah,
much hopeful.
hopefully, games from Batrilo and Lulu Labs, both the organizations will have some significant impact on making it a reality. We hope
Yeah.
so. So we will move to the next question, but before that, there is an announcement that we would like to share with the audience. We'd like to take the opportunity to disclose it in this live session. That Batrilo Interactive is partnered up with Serious Games Association, which is based in Singapore, Serious Games Asia. And as you can see that they will organize a virtual workshop for all of you on serious game design. So it will be taken by Dr. Tan Wei Ho, so who is not only a prominent game maker in terms of he's a designer, and also he's a scholar in the academia. So it will be a very fruitful session. So those of you who are interested to work in serious games and designing serious games, so you can definitely join up. All right, so we'll have the link posted in the comment section of the video probably, so you can sign up using that link, so you can see on the screen. So just follow the comment, you can sign up, and after that you attend this on June 23rd, I think, so that's 12 days from now. So don't forget to sign up on that and attend that show if you can. That will help you jumpstart on this segment, and also if you have already started, that will help you to improve yourself. Okay, and yes, it's absolutely free, so don't bother about it. Anyways, so we'll resume our question answer round. So we were talking about games and like about the topic that everybody was talking about. So so back to Sally and Matilda, that we have an interesting question, like when was the time you felt like that the work you were doing is totally worth it? I mean, as I said earlier, that it is a stressful job. It can be stressful because we know that you are co-creating the games. So you are interacting with those kids in Africa, and then you are back in your studio in Denmark, you are working. And then again, you are working with the organizations you are partnered up with. So it's a lot of activities going on. But at the end of the day, we all know the game makers. Istiaque Bhai can also testify to that. That at some point we all feel like, okay, this was totally worth it. So, did you have that moment yet while working with Lulu?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think every time we travel to the field, when we travel to visit our what we call end users, and when we co-create with the girls and boys, that's when it's absolutely worth it. We try to teach them some entrepreneurial skills as well, and some creative skills, and yeah, we spend a lot of time with these girls and boys, so they are not just co-creation participants. We become like friends. And it's so nice when we get to go several times and meet again, and that's when it's really worth it.
Yeah, and I also just want to say, like, the fact that we can see an immediate change in the young people, that really makes it worth it for us, because we can really see that these games are helping and that they're proud of what they're doing and helping us. So that's really cool.
All right. So the journey itself is very beautiful and very enjoyable. I think that's really something. So Istiaque bhai, same question to you. That
Yeah.
like, when did you feel like it was totally worth it?
There are so many incidents for me. So I will mention one or two. So first one, very well, when Rafi joined. Yeah, we made a game VR, VR skydiving. Yeah, then to let them know, Sally and so we made a game back in 2015, a VR skydiving game. It was played in different universities of Bangladesh, like 65 universities, and like hundred of thousands of students played the game. It was a very fun game. It's a VR skydiving thing. You'll have to like jump from the sky in a VR device, and we made the mechanical thing so that you can feel the wind and everything. So it will give you the mental and physical both feeling. So one of our lead developer in our company back in like 2017, he was a student of AIUB. He played the game. Now he's our team member, but in 2017 he played the game as a student of AIUB because we took the game over there, and he thought this kind of amazing work is done by like Bangladesh. He didn't believe first of all that it's a Bangladeshi product. Then like he searched for the company. Then he knocked us, and then he prepared for having a job interview for us. And like he's one of our chief developers. I would say he's a team lead of game development segment. So it is one of the story of inspiration, I would say. And some other stories. Let me tell another one. We beside game development, we also do some outreach programs in universities, school, colleges, so that people students know better about AR, VR, and gamified things. So that's why we every year we usually 30 to we usually arrange 30 to 40 outreach programs in our schools and colleges and universities. So Fami, you remember the incident of Raju? So there was
Yeah.
a treasure hunt game, and we expected like 35 to 40 participants over there. But when we like open it for all, like I think 500 to 600 students participated the event, and we were like so crazy. We had to manage this kind of people with this small amount of time, and it was a very great experience. It was very tough for us to handle, but after the event, we were so happy about the participant and watching the videos and stuff. It was a very good experience, I think, to share.
Yeah, about the first point that we'll move into the audience question now, but before that, just want to say a couple of things about the first point, that the motivation of the team members. I think this is absolutely crucial, because if you see the videos of the Last of Us, the developer, so you can go to YouTube and see the team videos, like they are talking about their game. And when you see them, you can actually feel the emotion behind every team member. They are so much into the game, they're so much into the story, they're so much into the franchise, that it's like they are speaking about their own life. So that sort of motivation can actually help you make something really great. So motivation is really important. It's important that we have rightly motivated people in the right place to create something really good. So The Last of Us is the perfect example of this. Speaking of this, I think it's only due in 1 week, so do your pre-orders. They don't pay me anything for saying this. I'm just a fan anyways. So moving on to the audience's questions right now, I think we have a few. So if you could show this, Mr. Deva. Well, big question from Maruf Islamai. With all the adverse impact of gadget addiction in children at mind, which age do you think a child should go or can start the gamified learning approach? Question to Lulu Lab. Okay, let's answer this one first. At which age do you think a child should start the gamified journey? Anyone wants to go first? Istiaque bhai or Lulu Lab?
Ask the parents.
Yeah.
The parents?
Yeah, ask the parents. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I don't know if it depends on the topic, but I mean, for our games, it is from yeah, probably age 10, but you have to be in school, of course, and start learning. And yeah, I think gamification is doing gamification digitally is a good way to show both to learn the knowledge, but also to show everything visually, so you get a better view and a better knowledge than just like reading words or something else. Yeah, you kind of learn in a deeper level, I would say.
All right, Istiaque bhai.
So I like didn't see the question. Is it about the screen time
At
of
which,
children?
yeah, at which age do you think they should be allowed to have this
Okay.
journey of
Okay,
gamified
so
learning?
I'm not some kind of specialized on that, but what I would suggest, what I would suggest is every children. I see around me every children has so many screen time. They spend so many time in their mobile tab and stuff. So what I want to do, what I want to suggest to the parents is, you know, if they spend times in mobile screen, then give the gamified apps. Okay, make them their playing games. Okay, make them their games, their main games, so that they can play games and they can learn things in a simultaneous way. So I cannot suggest any age here, but what I can suggest, it's kind of like in Bangladeshi, there is a Bangladeshi proverb. It means like machar tele mach bhaja type of thing. So it means you'll have to fry the fish with the well of the fish kind of thing. So it can be a very good approach if you want to teach your children from game. Fahmi, you there?
Yeah. Could we see the question again, guys? Devan, could you please read once again, because I think it had a second part. Yeah. There is a specific question to Lulu Lab. Before that, let me introduce Maruf Bhai. Maruf Bhai is one of the directors of Light of Hope, the organization that we are developing the game with. We are co-creating the game together. Taboo topics are different in a different geographical context. For example, in Bangladesh, sex is like more like a forbidden word than in Denmark. Maybe a taboo game seeming appropriate for European context may create controversies in the South Asian context. So how do you deal with all this, geographical differences and differences in culture, philosophy, because it depends on the context?
Yeah, I think Lulu Lab is as much about games as it is about what we call human-centered design. So that means that we've actually never developed a game about sexual education for context or European context. We've only worked in East and West Africa, and now we're looking towards South Asia. But we go and do these co-creation workshops with end users and what is the local language around sexual education or menstrual hygiene? How do they speak about it? Is there? Of course, it's super difficult. It's a taboo topic in most countries. So we really consider the cultural differences and all the sensitivities and certain topics you shouldn't discuss because that's maybe not legal. And we're very sensitive to national legal standards in general.
Yeah, and we talk to not only the end users and the organizations, but also, for example, religious leaders, parents, teachers, whoever is important for these games to be implemented, because it's important that we learn what we cannot speak about and how we should address some topics and what's important for them to get out to the end users. Because their opinion matters just as much in terms of us being able to implement the games.
Absolutely. So it's basically you approach like it very manually. So you talk to people and it's understand their context, and then I think that's the way forward actually, because you cannot generalize the whole culture and geographical thing. The references are too huge to handle. All right. So do you have any other questions to address right now? How difficult will it be to promote projects on taboo topics during this pandemic, considering the new normal? Anyone wants to go first?
Okay, I can go, I think.
Yeah.
So if the game is a consumer centric game, it it should be do better, because people are spending time in their homes. Most of the times are boring because we are not able to go outside. So this can be our opportunity to market the games better way, and we're trying to do this from after the lockdown started. We already postponed all the works of event event activation and stuff, and we focus more on the B2C, business to consumer centric products. So I think if we can emphasize on the B2C serious games, it can be helpful for in this new normal.
Okay, about the new normal. So before you take any audience's questions again, so about the new normal, what's your take on this new reality that we are in? So I'll shoot this question to ask Sally and Matilde to answer this first. That what's your take on the new normal, and how do you think our lifestyle is going to? We know that there are many changes and there will be. So, but overall, what do you feel about it? Are you positive about it, or do you think like, okay, this has just happened, we cannot do anything about it, so we just have to pass this?
We're positive.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely challenging. We usually travel a lot, as you also mentioned earlier. We travel most of our working time, half of it, I think. So that's a huge challenge, but we've done some workshops online, virtually, now only with Scandinavian students, and that has worked really well. But it's a huge challenge for us to do that with, for example, Indian students, because the lockdown means that everyone's at home and they don't even go to school, as they have started to do in Denmark now, actually. So a lot of things are just on hold for us right now.
Yeah, but the whole educating about health has also been that's a global thing now, because you need to educate about COVID-19. So that also shows how important it is to actually educate about health. That's a plus, I would say.
It brings more focus on the topic in general.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for the answer. So we'll move into the next round. In the next round, we have quiz again. And this time we have some different pictures. This time we don't have any games, but we're going to play a game where we will show you some pictures of yourselves, and you'll have to tell the story behind those pictures. All right. So I think we can start this. This is going to be
Are there any
interesting.
creepy picture, or
I don't know.
serious
I didn't choose the pictures. I'm not the stalker here. Okay, guys, bring it on.
I hope there is no weird things over there.
It's a public life. I certainly hope so. It's not.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know that.
this is
You guys want to tell me about it?
This was how I know Fame, actually. Yeah. So this is from a conference in Bahrain in November. Maybe it says on the photo. I don't remember. October, November?
No, yeah.
November, I think. Yeah.
November, great. Yeah. This is me and Helena from CPHUX.
Yeah, that was in Bahrain. I remember. Yeah. This one.
From Oslo in Norway.
So this is the Plus Impact Festival.
Festival. Future Fest. Yeah,
that's what's it called. So it's an impact festival in Oslo, Norway, that we attended, and super good weather, super nice, and
nice people.
A lot of learning workshop where you can learn as well about different topics. So
like the UN SDGs, for example. Yeah.
Okay. That was in Norway. All right. This one. How about this one?
Only our photos, or?
So this is in Sierra Leone. When we started the co-creation process of the Dilemma game. So here we're in a school in one of the slum areas. I don't remember which one, but we were talking to a lot of young students about what games they play, how they talk about different sexual and reproductive health topics. trying to understand what they need. Okay.
Yeah, this is Bridget from Save the Children Sierra Leone and Alice from Save the Children Denmark that we have been working with.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that was from Sierra Leone. Moving on.
Oh my God, you talk about this one.
So this
What
is.
about this?
We were part of a radio station called P1 in Denmark.
We were on the very early morning show, at 6 a.m.
Yeah, talking about our games and how they're educating Africa and
the need for educational menstrual hygiene.
Yeah, but the highlight is it was taken at 6 a.m., right? So very early.
Very early.
Very early.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, as you remember it, I can tell. Anyways, moving on. Oh.
So this is
who's flying?
Vacation photo. We were traveling through Spain with some of our friends, and this was inside, what's it called, like a pool stadium where like there are bullfighting.
Bullfighting?
Bullfighting.
Kiki, who is young, she's our Chinese friend. She is hosting youth camps every year in Ningxia in China to teach, where she brings in her European friends. I don't know how that's going to move forward, but to teach young Chinese children about the world. Yeah.
I see. Famous bullfighting stadium in Spain. I guess all of us have seen videos of that if we have not visited Spain. Moving on. Okay.
Someone else.
You guys are relieved? You guys are relieved. You guys should really take care of the privacy issues of your photos. Come on. Just joking. Istiaque bhai. Istiaque bhai, you are mute. Istiaque bhai, you are mute.
Yeah. It was, I think, in an art festival in Shilpokala Academy. For me, for Litfest. Yeah, the name was Litfest. It was a very prestigious festival. So I like the image, I like the picture very much. The artwork and everything. Can you see it? It's basically poached egg in some pans. So many poached eggs in some pans. I like the work very much. That's why I like take pictures.
Interesting. Moving on.
It is basically IGDC, Indian Game Development Conference. So we went there in November, I guess, last year. It was a great event. Companies from like different countries came here and like showcases their product.
Okay, that was in Hyderabad. Moving on.
Yeah, Hyderabad.
Why is it blank? Are we done? Okay. Oh, so I think they had some more interesting pictures, but you had them cut off. That's my guess. I'm not sure.
Was that an option? Yeah, we didn't get that.
Okay. So, should we go with some more of the audience's questions, or should we move to the ending part of the show? Do you have any other questions from the audience that we can address right now? Yes, we have. What can be the challenges working with the targeted audience in combination of two topics, sexual education and game development? We cannot see the rest of the questions. What can be the challenges of working with the targeted TGE in combination of these two topics? Okay, I think he basically is asking about the core challenges of working in this domain, like combining these two topics. And so you guys want to go forward? Who wants to take this first?
I think the main challenge for us has maybe been that our end users or the targeted audience, they don't really see them go together. So that has kind of been our work afterwards to combine the two, and not really something we necessarily have combined in collaboration with the users.
Okay. Istiaque bhai, what about you?
So I agree with her. the development agencies, they don't see the whole picture at first. So who made one games once, if we like try, if we can convince the agency, then they make one in a very hard way. After that they repeat the work, but at the very first time it is very hard to convince them to make some games like that. So it's a great challenge for us. And another thing is the mentality of people. I was gonna talk about that, as a comment, but as the guy asked the questions, I will say it now. Fine, listen. If we make so many games, like let's make like all serious games to solve all the problems and stuff. But if we cannot like change the entire mentality of nation, the parents' mentality, that
Yeah.
the sex education it will always be taboo. A mother or a father, they don't want to talk about period with their girl. If she feels problem with the period, and if she feels some health issue problems in the adolescent period, so only a game cannot solve it. We're making games so that we can easy things up, but thing is, somehow we will have to change the mentality. It's a very it's a very root problem. Okay, and in countries like us, it's a very deep problem. And game in some extent, it can like help to change it, but in longer scenario we'll have to change the mentality overall. There are some educated families and some well-off families, they know and they want to talk about it sometimes, but in our country, some middle class families, they don't want to talk about it at all. So game can make it easy, but game cannot actually change it all the way. So we'll have to like somehow we'll have to make workshop, we'll have to make them play the games, we'll have to like talk, we'll have to make them be open with their children. We'll have to work on that too. Beside games, we're working with games. I agree with that, but this is a very crucial problem in countries like yeah, I think they will agree with me, Matilda and Sally, they will agree with me. In the arena you work, if you don't go to the schools are taking it in a very welcoming way, but I don't know if you go to families with your product, I don't know what the parents will say. I think the situation will happen like us, that parents will like, they will not listen to us, and they will like
Yeah,
ignore us
very
about the
interesting
game.
angle actually, Istiaque. Very interesting angle. So actually, we want to know, well, what happens in that part of in East and West Africa, like when you approach these things with the parents and the elderly citizens of the community. So how do they take it? Like, do they take it
Yeah.
positively, or?
That's the good part, is that they recognize the problem. For example, that there is a high level of teenage pregnancy in Sierra Leone, for example, and they want to find a solution to this problem as well. And they want to help their children to succeed in life and to not end up in as a part of these statistics. So I think actually recognizing the problem, that that we're trying to eradicate with the sexual education, that really helps.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a process. I think it's a process. I mean, it
It
starts
will
the
take time.
process.
Yeah.
It will take time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on. The next question, please. We are almost at the end of the show, so we should be hurried up. All right. According to Bangladesh's current NCTB curriculum, NCTB means the National Curriculum of Textbook Board. The national government authority who controls who manages the books and the curriculums and everything. So the NCTB curriculum, there are not enough materials to teach students about taboo things from an early age. How can similar initiatives be included in the NCTB curriculum? Well, that's an interesting topic. That's an interesting topic because as far as our understanding goes, there are some things in the books. Is that right? Am I right?
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. So materials are not enough, I agree, but good number of materials are available over there. But the problem is, I'm going to the point again, the problem is in the way we think. The teachers chaptered the book. The chapter is already closed down by the teachers. They don't want to teach the chapters. Okay, they don't want to teach the chapters. So yeah, gaming, making serious games is helping in some ways, but somehow we'll have to work on those, the thinking process too. So about the content and material, so I told that there are enough, not enough, but there are like a good number of contents, but there should be some interactive contents too, so that so that it can be very much interactive. Let me give you an example, then you will understand what I'm trying to say. So the childbirth procedure. So we have a simple mini game for that in our UNICEF game. So before letting our children know, before letting a boy or girl know how a child is born, we let them play a game, a racing game. So we let them play a racing game in a river. So he'll have to drive a car or something. He doesn't see it with what is he driving. So he'll have to compete with other vehicles. Then he'll have to be first. Okay, after being first, he or she can see the whole picture from above, from an isometric view. Then he or she can see that he or she can she was racing in a penis, and it was he was racing as a sperm. Okay, so it is a concept that you'll have to be first to hit the egg. Yeah, so in the racing way. So this kind of content representation is important. We're doing that, but the traditional contents, these are enough. But which and I'm saying, I told earlier, the mentality, you should change the mentality also. So
Okay, so that's a very vocal trailer of the game that we are building, I guess.
Yeah, sorry
One part
for
of
that.
it. No
Yeah,
worries.
I wanted
The
to tell
audience,
earlier, later on.
they have got the idea, and I think that will actually interest to play it more. Anyways, so we'll take just one or two more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. So, do you have anything? Does Lulu Lab plan on visiting Bangladesh anytime soon, after this pandemic is over? Guys, come on,
We
answer
are.
this.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think.
we love to have you.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, we will be bringing them in Bangladesh after all this is over, and then we can probably arrange a physical meetup with you all as well, probably. Okay. Any last questions from the audience that we can take, or any last comments? Otherwise, we'll wrap this up. Nothing. Okay. Oh, this is something. Will it be a challenge to gamify lives, starting from the HR recruitment, taking exams, introduce gamification in every aspect of our lives? What will be the government's role here? So making it a global question, as we have like international participants over here as well. So let's talk about in general that if we want to gamify every aspect of our life, if we want to do that, so how do you think the government and the authorities, how will they take it? And do you think it's possible?
I do think it's possible. There are so many ways to gamify. There are so many different takes you can take with gamification. But I will say that why a game like ours worked really well is because it's not seen from the end user's perspective before, so it's really interesting for them and it's really engaging them. And I'm just thinking that if you gamify everything, then it will not be like something engaging and fun. It will just be something everyone does. I mean, everything is gamified.
But I think using parts of gamification is relevant to anything digital, especially because it's really it engages people, and I think someone commented here gamification would be the next big thing, and I think we will definitely see it more and more in any also governmental digital solutions. Everywhere.
Okay. Istiaque bhai, you want to add something?
Yeah. Besides the government in Bangladeshi government, they're very much helpful about the game sectors recently because they know the prospect. So I'm thankful to the government and ICT division. But beside that, I think MNC can help here a lot. The multinational companies, Banglalink, one of the prominent telco of our country, they introduced a gamified HR recently. I saw it. Fahmi, did you see it? I think I showed it to you last year. And British American Tobacco, already some people from there knocked me recently that they want to make something, some gamified things too. And in this pandemic, British American Tobacco also is planning to make a virtual meetup where you can do a party virtually. So it's not like serious kind of games, but it can be a way of gamified virtual things too. So I think the future of gamified learning is very prominent, I think.
Yeah, the future looks good, absolutely good. But we are at the end of our show, basically. We're at the very end. So,
I have a
last
question.
question. Oh, you
I
have a
have a
question?
question from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should have some questions from Fami. Is there any like segments for that? Or like
Like you will ask me questions?
no, like I can ask Lulu Lab question or like you.
Yeah, sure. Go on.
Yeah.
Just go on. Go ahead.
So first of all, thank you Fami for arranging the things, and thanks all of like the backstage guys and girls for the arrangements. So to Sally and Matilde, I have a questions that I liked your name a lot, the Lulu Lab. So what's the story behind it? I hope Fahmi told the story behind battery low to you, but the Lulu Lab, this name is very very soothing to ear. It sounds very good and very easy to pronounce. So what do you say? What's the story?
And easy to remember, hopefully as well.
Yeah.
That was what we were going for.
Yeah. It's very much easy to remember.
Yeah. So yeah, it's called Lab because we're a game lab, game studio, and Lulu because we wanted something feminine with an African touch because that's basically where we're working now.
Yeah. And Lulu also, I think it was in Swahili, it means an extraordinary person, or someone like getting to be extraordinary. This is also like one of the things that we want our games to do, of course. So yeah, it has a really nice meaning to it as well.
Okay, is it a like African word or like a Danish?
It is an African name and it's also an English word. Yeah. And we haven't actually gotten the story behind battery low.
I think Fahmi can explain better because he's the guy behind it. And as I was saying, I should ask some questions. Fahmi, like tell them the story of battery low, the naming.
Okay, thank you, Istiaque bhai. So for the question, so to answer this question, so basically, as you can, it's very self-explanatory that we know that we basically make games. And if I ask you that, what sort of games are what are the best games? What are the characteristics of the best games? The answer would be the one I keep playing, that I can't stop playing. And what happens to your mobile device when you can't stop playing a game? You hear the sound battery low. So if you keep playing more game, you'll just keep playing it, and then eventually your battery will be low. So that's one. And the second, we have something in common with Lulu Lab. The name is something you cannot forget once you hear once. So that is another reason. So for these two reasons, we are battery low.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, so that was interesting. Istiaque bhai, thanks for taking over from me for a brief period of time. So we're going to end it with the ending note. So we have just, I'll just ask both of three of you to end with last 1 minute of speech, in which I would request you to say something to the young people who are tuned into the show. We have a lot of people from different regions watching us. They want to learn from you guys, because they are some sort of they consider you as the idol, like who they want to become or who they want to surpass at even. So I guess they would love something of your advice about how to remain productive and what to do regarding the COVID situation, or like how to behave or sort of. So you can say something about that. You can say something about battery low and the fans as well. So starting with Sally and Matilde.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it's in terms of the current situation now?
Yeah.
Well, what we've seen here in Denmark and around the world is that how important it is to stay connected to your education and keep working on it at home, because there's a lot of bad consequences of not keeping up with your education as much as you can, of course, in terms of getting back to school when school's open. So I think that's like really important for young people right now.
But at the same time, I think don't put too much pressure on yourself to tell yourself that you need to learn 5 new skills because you're staying at home for some weeks or months. Because I think it's also important to realize that it's a difficult time and it's a huge challenge for all of us in our own ways. And that's important to take some time to just land in the new situation.
Okay. Istiaque bhai, you want to add something?
So yeah, basically in Bangladesh, I know that I think they know that Sally and Matilde. I think you know that we have a very disturbing traffic jam in our country. So during the before the lockdown, while going to universities, people have to wait hours in roads for reaching their destination. So for this lockdown, we are saving this time. And students, for students, this time is very valuable, I would say. So beside their regular work, the online classes and stuff, this time, every day I think they can save like 3 to 4 hours of this traffic jam from doing class from home. So I think they can develop their skills, and this is the best time. Yeah, after the lockdown will finish, then you will see that what you have done. Did you just watch Netflix, watch the series and movies from Netflix only, or did you also work on the skills you should work on, right? And the students who are planning to go abroad for higher educations, I think this is the best time to get prepared. And also the students who will be planning to be an entrepreneur, they should focus on their skills, and also the market. They should study the market better in this time, because the time we are getting, the spare time, I would say, we are getting is very amazing, and I would say is very valuable. So I think they should like focus on these issues. And another thing, finally, I would say that if you are religious, then in a regular basis, you should pray, because we don't know if we can survive the issue or not. So, and stay safe. God bless us all.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's about it. So we're at the end finally. So thank you so much again, guys. I think we had a very fantastic discussion. Personally, I had a very fantastic time, and I guess all of the viewers, they had a great experience as well, because we have seen the comments. We have tried to address as much as we could, and if we missed anyone, sorry for that. So, but do join us and do follow Lulu Lab and Bachelor Interactive. And we hope to see you guys in Bangladesh very soon after all this is over.
We hope so too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Same
having
here.
us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Fahmi, for having me.
Pleasure's all ours. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is Bachelor and Live signing out. Goodbye. Stay safe. Stay home.
Bye.
Bye.